Welcome to Stop the Fight, and this is a midweek update of Brandun Lee's knockout over Samuel Teah. Let's go.
Don't brag about taking my side piece. Don't brag about taking my side piece, though.
I broke my back. Back is broken. Spinal.
There's nothing much to say, but this knockout was beautiful. So Brandun Lee is an up-and-coming young fighter, 21 years old, of Asian-American descent. We've seen him on Showtime before, and here he is again. He's a fast kid with a lot of pop in his hands. Throws his shots a little wide, and if you watch this fight, the first 3 rounds, they were a bit closer than I would expect, although Samuel Teah is a good fighter. He's got wins over Shaquille Foster, who is a pretty good fighter himself, so he wasn't a walkover. Good test for Brandun, as I always say. You want to test your prospects. Not too heavy, not too much, but just enough. You know, find that right opponent. This was it. Brandun got hit a couple of times, so he needs to work on his defense. He seems to throw his shots a little bit wide. He likes to exchange. Every power puncher does. Now let's talk about the actual knockout that happened in the 3rd round, about a minute and a half in. In the center of the ring, Lee and Teah were exchanging shots, and Lee catches him with a beautiful overhand right.
He's strong, man, good boy, you know.
Wow, a second before that, he actually himself gets hit by Teah's left hook. So what you see with Brandun, as I mentioned earlier, is that his defense is a little bit leaky, and he likes to exchange. So over here, he took one to land one. This is not a good strategy going forward, as if you take one against better oppositions, you're going to wake up with a loss on your record. So you wanna, if you're in his camp, you wanna figure out those defensive flaws. I think maybe better shot selection. You don't wanna be getting caught in between your shots, and that's what you saw with this knockout. Brandun lands an overhand right, I think, right at the guard, right behind the guard of Teah, and then takes a left hook in return, a clean one, and then knocked him out with a right. So, you know, you don't want to exchange like that. That's how Amir Khan gets knocked out. If you remember Danny Garcia versus Amir Khan was throwing 3, 4, 5-punch combinations, and all Danny did was load up one left hook, and boom, Amir Khan's done. So you wanna pick your shots a little better. Yes, you know, finishing a fighter is good, and Teah actually went down earlier in the fight. So Lee knew he can hurt him, but again, you have to be smart with your shots. And this is a young kid. He has a lot of potential. He has a bright future ahead of him, and I think it's a great thing that it's an Asian American. We don't see very many Asian American fighters. You know, we see a lot of Filipino fighters, we see Japanese fighters. You know, Zhang from 2 weeks ago was a Chinese heavyweight, but we don't see very many Asian American fighters. And this is, I think, Brandun Lee's from California, and this is great for our sport, great for growing its audience, and great for encompassing the many ethnic groups that live in America. And, you know, boxing is a sport which itself is very diverse and encompasses many ethnic groups. So I am excited and hopeful that we'll see many more Asian Americans take up the sport of boxing, and hopefully Brandun Lee can become a champion. He definitely has the talent, he has the pop, he has the height. You know, he's a good-looking kid. He has a chance to become a star, and I hope we'll get to see much more of him. And for Samuel, now he did a really good job. Forget about the fact that he got knocked out. Those first 2 rounds, and even during the knockout, as I mentioned, he landed those shots. Now, part of that is, of course, because Brandun has some leaky defense, but part of it is because Samuel's no slouch. He's a legitimate fighter, a good fighter, a fighter that will test you, will see what you're made of, and one who can carry you deep. And I think, you know, this is only his first knockout loss. He had not lost by knockout previously. So I think Samuel, you know, he's got to rest up, recover, and I think he has more fights in him. He has more to show. He is a good fighter, and I actually would like to see him as well. So great all-around fight, awesome knockout. If you didn't see it, go check it out, and enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the fights coming up. All right, that's it for me. It's over.
I'm gonna go home and break my wife's hip.
Don't brag about taking my side piece. Don't brag about taking my side piece, though.
I broke my back. Back is broken. Spinal.
He's strong, man, good boy, you know, just